Okay, look. I lost a bet, alright?
I lost.
Where'd you move here from? Dumbsville?
Yo, I hit the jeweler, got some goals. I sold a little weed, but I could never sell my soul. And when I'm in LA, you find me out in Lil Toe. Come a vocal with my ramen, I'ma need another bowl. Let's go.
For sakes, Kanye, get your life together.
I don't wanna be on this earth anymore, not without Kim. She was my heaven and my hell, she was my everything. Now she's gone, and there's nothing I can do about it. Oh shit, I dropped something.
Kanye? What the fuck is this?
Nothing, just you know.
Is this a copy of Dead or Alive Xtreme 3 on the Nintendo Switch? I can't believe you would stoop that low. Wait a minute, what the fuck's on the cover? Kanye? Is this the girl from Uncut Gems?
She's bad though, you gotta admit.
Oh, well, I can't argue there. Seriously though, what the fuck is this? So, Dead or Alive Xtreme Beach Volleyball 3. So, if I can break character for a minute, there's actually a real-world story to this video. So, a year ago in September of 2020, my friend Detective Fat Weedington bought me a birthday present. That birthday present, of course, being Dead or Alive Xtreme 3. Here's the thing, though. This game wasn't released over here in the good US of A. To give a quick history lesson, Dead or Alive is a renowned fighting game series by Koei Tecmo, created by a man named Itagaki, who is fucking insane. He also created the modern Ninja Gaiden reboots, the first two at least. Both series, in fact, sharing characters. And then we get to, the Xtreme Beach Volleyball game. So apparently, from my research, during DOA 2's development, Team Ninja, the developers behind the DOA games, were getting a lot of requests to make a beach volleyball mini-game. And then, after DOA 3, Itagaki decided to make it a whole video game. You gotta love Japanese developers. Oh, also, side note, apparently Itagaki had an article talking about his top 5 least favorite games, and all of them were just Tekken 1 through 5? This man was fucking crazy. Of course, 3 years later, they released Dead or Alive Xtreme 2. You know, you gotta follow it up. And then about 10 years and one Itagaki leaving later, Dead or Alive Xtreme 3 released on PS4 in 2016, labeled Dead or Alive Xtreme 3 Fortune, followed by a PC port in 2017. This one being Dead or Alive Xtreme 3 Venus Vacation, which was then followed by an updated PS4 version and a Switch version. This one called Dead or Alive Xtreme 3 Scarlet. And most importantly, all of these versions were released in Asian territories only. Yeah, due to cultural concerns, Dead or Alive Xtreme 3 never left Asia. Despite this though, the game does indeed support English. And due to a lack of region locking on the PS4 and Switch, you can just import the game from Amazon for a nice and cheap $70, which in September of 2020 is how much my friend Detective Fat Weedington paid for my 21st birthday present. And then 1 year later, let's just say I lost a bet and I have to review it now. Now, I'm gonna be honest, I'm not the biggest expert on all these games. I only started Ninja Gaiden Black and 2 recently, and I really loved those. And I own DOA 4 and played it once with a friend, but otherwise, I'm no expert. So if I say some dumb shit, forgive me. I hope the Dead or Alive fanbase will understand my lack of knowledge on the Dead or Alive Xtreme Beach Volleyball lore. Anyways, let's just jump into this pile of shit. So first of all, let's talk story. And man, is this game emotional. I mean, I was actually kind of shocked. The game really dives into themes of, okay, who am I fucking kidding? You know this bit already, there is no story. Basically, this guy named Zach has an island, and it gets destroyed like 15 fucking times. You would think he'd move the island, but who fucking cares? So Zach hires you, the player, to stare at tits all day. Take care of the island. You then choose one of these characters. There's a cutscene where the anime girl goes, Oni-chan! And then Joel's daughter gets shot and dies, and we do, however, indeed have characters. And this is indeed one of the rosters in gaming history. We have Kazumi, who loves fortune telling, and who I can predict you will never have a future with, because she isn't real. Mojimi, who loves reading George Orwell's book, 1984. Li Feng, who loves aromatherapy. Fucking stupid ass shit. Tomi, who's German and 20 years old, who sadly is way too old for Cosmodor. Helena, whose hobby is walking her dog. Wow, you must have a really interesting personality. Marie Rose, who is 18 years old, and yet I don't fucking believe it for a second. So we are definitely not picking her. However, she is Swedish, meaning that she is a drainer, which I will admit is red pill. Hanoka, who enjoys cream way too much. Nyotengu, who is over 1,000 years old, meaning she is indeed a gilf.
Nice and legal.
And whose nationality, birthday, and weight are all unknown. You could just step on a scale. Misaki, who's into astronomy. Remind me not to entrust her with my my car keys. Kokoro, who likes piano, and then one bitch from Ninja Gaiden. I went with Hitomi because my friend said she's the best girl apparently. And the goal of the game, if that's what we're calling it nowadays, is to spend 14 in-game days on a luxury vacation on this island. The game essentially ends once the vacation ends though, and you get to do it all over again with a different character this time. Yeah, once again, the game's not very deep. The game is what it is. And if you honestly bought this game for the story, I don't know how you're watching this video because you clearly don't exist. Obviously, the point of this game, aside from, you know,
Sex.
which actually there's none of in this game, but we'll get to that later, is the gameplay, which actually kind of surprised me because the gameplay is shockingly polished. So there are 6 mini-games in total. First of all, there's volleyball, the one with the most tech. This one's actually really challenging, and it took me quite a bit to get used to it. You control the 2 characters on the left, and obviously it's a standard volleyball. However, there's a lot of complexity in the controls. There's a lot of tech in serving, attacking, spiking, and whatnot. It's not exactly intuitive, but once you get the hang of it, it's actually pretty fun. Next, we have pool hopping, my favorite minigame of the bunch. In this minigame, there's a bunch of floating platforms in a pool, and your goal is to get to the end by jumping on these platforms. And in order to jump on these platforms, you have to press the corresponding button that's on the platform. Pressing the right button will net you more and more points. You also have to do long jumps. This is done by holding the corresponding button, which you can even use to skip certain platforms, and is really helpful when you're racing other characters. This minigame may look and sound pretty simple, but let me tell you, it fucking isn't. First of all, I'm playing on a Switch Pro controller, where the A button is over here, and the Y's over here, and the X is up here. It's a mess. So it really throws me off when I think I'm pressing A, X, Y, and B, and really I'm pressing fucking W. For this minigame requires both precision and speed. You have to know which button to press, whether to press or hold it, and factor in all of that as fast as possible. It's actually pretty tricky, and that's where the fun is for me. Next minigame is Tug of War, where 2 opponents have a single piece of rope, and you're supposed to pull them into the fiery depths of hell. You can also have them fall backwards into the modern hell of modern nostalgia critic. And I mean, it's Tug of War. It's basic, it's fine, I guess, but I'm not in love with it. I do like the amount of strategy in this Tug of War minigame, but otherwise, there's nothing much to write home about. Next, we have... I'm not fucking reading that. And your goal is to use your anime dumpy to dump the other person into the hell. It's basically just Tug of War, but the characters are turned around. Shock value aside, I wasn't too big on this one. It's just kind of there, I guess. There's also beach flags. Your goal is to mash the B button as fast as you can to reach the flag on time. You can also press the A button to do a dive, and that's about it. I wasn't a big fan of this one either. It's really basic and just really button mashy. Kinda lame, TBH. Finally, there's rock climbing. This minigame sucks fucking dick. Basically, you watch a cutscene of your character rock climbing, and you press the corresponding QTEs. It's extremely boring. This minigame just straight up sucks. I did not enjoy it one bit. So those are all the minigames. And for the most part, they are pretty well polished. Of course, there are a couple duds though, and there are only 6 of them. So what else do you do in this game, you may be asking? Well, you can beat minigames for money, and you can use the money to buy more items and swimsuits for the girls. I bought the one that hopefully won't get me demonetized. You also need to keep the girls' satisfaction levels up by giving them items they like and discarding items they don't like. This allows the player to have some sort of virtual validation from a fake woman. You can also get more money by gambling at the casino. At the casino, there are 3 mini games you can play. There's roulette, where you can waste your money, poker, where you can waste your money, and blackjack, where you can waste your money. Truly, this is one of the few games where you can be both horny and have a crippling gambling addiction. Personally, blackjack's my favorite. Winning in these games will net you more money, which you can use to buy more skimpy swimsuits. You can also take pictures of the girls. Make sure to delete the captures, though. Also in the game, you're given a partner, and if you want to swap them, you gotta build up your friendships with the other girls. Otherwise, they'll reject you. That's right, even in Dead or Alive Extreme 3, you can't escape rejection. There's also pole dancing. I didn't get to that part of the game, which all culminates in what is, in my opinion, the worst part of the game, the repetition. Once again, there's only 6 mini-games, and once you get through the first hour and 40 minutes or so, and right before you even finish your first vacation, you've kind of honestly already seen everything. And if you want to unlock all the costumes and get those satisfaction ratings up, you gotta do the whole game over and over and over again. It's an hour and 40 minutes worth of content stretched out to however long this is. And yeah, I know the game is just fan service, but really, it's just bathing suits, which makes the shock value wear off a little bit more in my opinion. And once the shock value wears off, you're left with a pretty repetitive, kinda dull, sometimes fun experience. But I will admit, there is an appeal to it, and the game is pretty relaxing, while at the same time also being kind of a challenge. But once again, all that is made not fun by the repetition. This is at its heart a novelty game. It's a novelty because of the fan service, it's a novelty because it's foreign, and it's not a whole lot else. However, one other thing I do like is the presentation. The graphics, yes, even on the girls, are really good, and the environments look really good too. Once again, I'm playing on Switch, but it is a really good Switch port. It is 30 FPS, but from what I played, it's a smooth 30 FPS. With the kind of game this is, I'd actually say it's the best on Switch. It's better played in little bits than big chunks. It's kind of that game you chip at on the go, little by little. The only problem is, I don't think it's accepted by society to play this game in public. The music is also way too good for this game. So good, in fact, that I'm probably going to use it for background music from now on. It's exotic, catchy, relaxing, yet upbeat. They really didn't half-ass the soundtrack for Dead or Alive Xtreme 3. The presentation is overall phenomenal, and it is one of the highlights of the game. I just wish the rest of the game was up to snuff. So what does all this mean? Is this game good, or is it bad? Well, honestly, it's kind of a mixed bag. Like I said, this is a novelty game. I will say, out of all 6 mini-games, 4 of them are really polished, and can be really fun. And the other 2 mini-games, you can certainly play them, but the issue is that's kind of all there is to the game. I was able to finish the first character's playthrough in roughly an hour and a half. Now, imagine that repeated over 11 characters, and you got almost the entire game right there. Now, once again, I do see the appeal of this game, minus the titties! Once again, it is a really relaxing experience, while also having challenge in its mini-games. That mix of relaxing and challenging really gives this game a really unique vibe. People joke, oh, I play this game for the volleyball, but I could see myself playing this game for the volleyball. The issue, once again, though, is that it is repetitive. It's 6 mini-games stretched over 7 hours of content. But overall, this is one of the video games of all time. Is it fun? Yeah, it can be. Is it worth $70? Fuck no. Should it be a distraction for your crippling breakup and/or marriage? Hey, Kanye!
What? Sorry, I was dozing off.
Fucking hell. Kanye, did you hear a word of what I said?
Nah, not really.
Oh, fucking great. Listen, Kanye, you can't just distract yourself with pornography. And you especially can't just tape Julia Fox to the cover of Dead or Alive Xtreme 3. What is genuinely wrong with you?
Fuck, man, the world is just a piece of garbage without Kim. I haven't felt.
Shut up! Okay. Look. I know where you're coming from. I genuinely do. When you're emotionally attached to someone and you want to do everything you can for them, only to realize that they didn't feel the same way for you. And then, all of a sudden, those feelings you had for them, you find out they had for someone else. And you're kinda just forced to sit and watch. As painful as it is, it's all you can really do. But even though you may love someone, they are their own human being. And you have to be able to let go. And channel your emotions into something positive. I mean, you've already done that twice, Kanye. 808 and Heartbreaks and Donda. This is why we make art, Kanye. This is why we make music. This is why we create, Kanye. To put our feelings and emotions into something. To better understand ourselves.
Now Kim's got a fat ass. I'm gonna take over the world and get her back. And it's on God.
Well, so much for that.
Fuck you in the lane you came with. Me and you ain't on the same shit. You ain't in my lane, bitch. Nah, all that shit it fit. Rollie on my wrist. Ay, baby, you a star, I'm my only wish. I'm counting blue honeys, I'm too money. Ay, and my little bitch, she too lovely. Yeah, hanging up and calling me right back. Ay, baby, why you calling me like that? Yeah, getting high with the seat, lay back. Baby, gon' relax, yeah. Ay, they don't know the half, yeah. No matter what happened, I got your back. Baby, that's the facts, yeah. That's the facts, yeah. Yeah, we can fight, but the feeling's gone. I try to find the words, but they never come. I can still see you on the lawn. Hey, laying outside in the summer sun. Yeah, we can fight, but the feeling's gone. I try to find the words, but they never come. I can still see you on the lawn. Hey, baby, that's the facts, yeah. That's the facts, yeah.